What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. After Sound here, bringing you Splinterlands content every single day. We also stream right here on this channel every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday morning. So come by and say hello. All right. Well, I posted that video last night, just kind of looking through the land kind of sync in terms of, the card sync that land will be. And obviously one of the biggest revelations was just how many reward cards were printed for Chaos Legion, because I think if you didn't watch it, the TLDR was that I think Chaos Legion can pretty much fill up all like 60% of land, and that's with all of the cards fully maxed out with the print rates, which are obviously completely done now since we have moved on to soulbound cards. So I was looking at that, and it was just a very high number, and I didn't even get into Chaos Legion or Untamed, Beta, Rift Watchers, even the upcoming Rebellion. And what's interesting is that we got a little tidbit here, as Aggie was in the official Discord or official announcements for the Splinterlands Discord, teasing land v1.5. So I'm just going to go through the note that he left here for everybody, and then give my thoughts at the end. Right. So it says, hey guys, more information will be coming about land v1.5 in the coming weeks, but I want to give you a real quick sneak peek of what the Splinterlands team is cooking up. We're planning on having land v1 out by the end of Q1. Cool. I think we're all on the same page about that. So you'll be able to survey land then. We expect full v2 land where all the production is figured out to take many months from here. So we're planning a v1.5. All right, so none of that is necessarily new. In our proposed v1.5, you'll be able to start staking cards in DEC on your land in order to earn SPS pending DAO approval and get a head start on certain parts of the land expansion, such as unlocking the Secret of Praetoria. Very exciting. While we are planning on most land buildings allowing only a max of 5 cards per plot, in certain situations, this is what is relevant, in certain situations, you may be able to put unlimited cards and are competing with other players to mine a limited resource. You can think of this like hash power mining Bitcoin, for example. All right. The point is that within the next 3 to 4 months, we expect card and DEC staking to begin on land in competition for SPS and other early resources. You should probably get as many DEC and cards as you can now, since tradable reward cards are already out of print and Chaos Legion is going out of print one way or another next month. Don't say we didn't warn you. So a couple pieces of information there, at least somewhat new information, which I think is relevant to the video that I posted last night, and then just in general, exciting overall. So let's jump back up to this part here, right? So they say we expect full V2 of land where all production is figured out to take many months from here. Now, I don't know what that means. And of course, Aggie could have just worded it that way for whatever reason. But I still think that, well, let me put it this way. The initial estimate that the team was trying to put out there was Q3. When Farpetrad, who is the lead land developer, was on the town hall, I think at the end of last year, he said something like, we're going to try and get land out by the end of 2024, which, when I heard that, I was like, oh, okay, well, that seems like a more realistic time frame if he's the lead land developer. So in my mind, I'm like, okay, well, it's going to be any time between, Q3 and Q4, which is a 6-month span starting from July 1st going all the way to December of this year. When we hear something like many months more, it makes me feel like it's going to be much closer to the December 31st part of that spectrum. But again, we don't know. My hope is that we just get it out in 2023. I hope that we can. I know there's going to be a lot of other exciting things. And I'm not a big landholder, so I'm not like, I don't need it. I'm not, I haven't been waiting for it. Although I understand other people who have been. For me, it's just like, it's exciting. I want it here, and I just hope that we get it by the end of the year. But I do like the fact that they are breaking things out and chunking it out. We're going to get this land v1.5. And even if we have, I know it's going to be tacky. People will, turn it into a meme at this point. But, if we get like v1.5 at the end of Q2, and then v1.75, v1.8, whatever you want to call it, maybe we get that sometime in Q3. I would rather that be the case so that we can see the progress as we go along and start to interact with land overall. And I think that this is actually going to be really, really important. I'm super excited for land v1.5 personally. Okay, so in our proposed v1.5, you'll be able to start staking cards in DEC. All right, we already knew that, at least to a certain extent, in order to earn SPS. Now, this is something that I'd mentioned on I believe the last 5 biggest takeaways from the town hall. So this is pending DAO approval because it will affect the SPS distribution. I would vote for this in a heartbeat. I don't, for now it's fine that people are earning land or earning SPS just for holding land. But really, if you're going to be earning rewards, you should be doing work. You should be providing some kind of value. So even if that means working your land to get that SPS initially, we should immediately move to that. I think that is going to be something, excuse me, that needs to happen. And then get a head start on certain parts of land expansion, such as unlocking the Secret of Pretoria. So we already covered that. While we are planning, okay, this is the area that stuck to me the most. So while we are planning on most land buildings allowing a max of 5 cards per plot, in certain situations you'll be able to put unlimited cards and are competing with other players to mine a limited resource. So this is the thing to me that will, again, I don't know what it's going to look like. And it's going to be very whale dominated, right? Well, not whale dominated, but like whoever wants to play that game, when the denominator can be unlimited at this point, then it's just like, well, who has the most capital that they're willing to throw at this? Who can get the best deals on cards and, put as much CP or whatever you want to put, whatever they end up considering as that in order to mine as much of this resource. Because if it's going to be like this resource only comes in and we get, again, I'm just throwing numbers out there. We get 100 of this resource per year, right? Or 365 of this resource per year, 1 per day. And it's just like, if one person is mining it, they're going to get all of it. And if, a bunch of people are mining, well, then it gets spread out somewhat evenly, or not evenly, but proportionally to that. And it's just like the more power you put in, right? They're kind of comparing this to the hash power for Bitcoin mining. The more power you put in, the higher your chances or the higher reward that you get, the higher the piece of pie ends up being. But that pie slice is the same size no matter what, right? Maybe over time they'll put in some kind of thing where it increases on a certain schedule. But if anything, if you're going to follow something like Bitcoin, it should actually be decreasing over time. So, that's going to be an interesting element, and I actually love it. I know people are probably going to have their issues with it, but it does solve one of the big things of like, well, do we have too many cards? Will land not eat up enough cards? But I'm actually not, even with the video that I posted last night, I'm actually not as worried about this because land as it stands right now can eat up 750,000 cards, right? Max cards or whatever you want to call it. Obviously, there's a ton of cards in the system. The thing is, we don't want it to eat all the cards because we still want to play. So people are going to be very picky and choosy on how they go. And if the game continues to grow, whether slowly or whether quickly with another bull market, the fact is that there is going to be desire for the cards. Now, keep in mind, tower defense is coming in. You see games like Splinter Forge that are getting people to use cards or rent cards in certain ways. So we're gonna get more demand for a lot of these cards. And I just, I'm not necessarily worried about there being too many or even too little cards. Like I think we're gonna get it figured out as we go along. And the best part about this, or not the best part, but like something to keep in mind is that we're on land phase 1 right now, and we're talking about 1.5 and 2. But imagine 18 months from now or 2 years from now when they're working on land phase 3. Well, at that point, or land V3, we'll call it, at that point, they might add a 6th monster and more things to the land, right? They can add more slots for things if they start expanding on lands. Maybe you'll be able to build a second building, right? Or something like that as they grow out what land can be. So land, in a way, can be this unlimited sink because we can start adding more and more to it as we go along. So right now, that video was looking within the constraints of what we currently have in the system and what we currently know is coming. But ultimately, like all this stuff, I mean, it's digital, right? So it can be built out and mished and mashed as any way that we want in order to get to that level, in order to kind of accommodate what the game wants. And again, it's not that I want them to create sinks for sinks, but it's like we all want land to be something awesome, right? We all want land to be, this kind of like digital universe or miniverse or metaverse, whatever you want to call it, that we can even eventually get into with VR or something, right? So like as you go along, you're here now kind of at the ground floor of this, which is exciting. But, let's say in the future you want to like start building out things or whatever. Well, maybe you need more monsters on your land. Maybe you need more X, Y, and Z on your land. Maybe you need to compete on certain things. Maybe there's a new resource that's found in Pretoria. And that adds to like the 3rd level of the game, right? We have our base level right now. We're going to get a second level with items and spells. Well, maybe in 2-3 years from now, there's going to be a 3rd level. And all of a sudden it's going to be this much more complicated game. Or maybe there's another game that's built on top of or within the Splinterlands ecosystem that, they introduce on land is like, okay, well now you can start like earning this too. And you got to make a decision how you want to do that with your land. So again, there's a lot of flexibility here. So to me, I'm not necessarily worried. And my video yesterday wasn't necessarily to be like, oh my gosh, like there's way too many cards. It was more to be like, holy crap, there's a lot of reward cards just for Chaos Legion. I didn't realize how big that was in the massive scale of things. So, ultimately, I like this idea. I think that this is a great way to kind of pivot and make sure that there's always going to be something that if people want it, if there's a resource, whether that's something that can have value financially, or more importantly, maybe have value in the game, right? To get you certain things, help you level up, help you get to the higher, leagues and champion, whatever, maybe even like leaderboards in the future. I think that's going to be important because people will want it and it will have value in some way, shape, or form. And being able to not cap it, I think, is going to be really cool. All right. Last part here. The point is that within the next 3-4 months, we expect card. Okay. This is Aggie just doing his thing to let you know that it's time to FOMO. So I'll leave that with you guys. Is it time to FOMO? How are you thinking about this? I'm curious to know your thoughts overall on this announcement specifically. Maybe you watched my video last night. Maybe you didn't. You don't need to. Like I said, I gave you the TLDR already. So I'm just curious, what's your thoughts on this as we go along? Are you starting to buy cards now? Are you starting to grab more DEC? I mean, this is going to be exciting times in the next couple of months here. I personally am excited for where the summer is going for Splinterlands. I'll probably save that for another video too. But let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I'll catch you all in the next video and see you around the game. Take care.